What is going on, everyone? Thank you for checking out another SGN video where it's all sim all the time. And today, nearly 2 months later than we did last year, we finally got our first bit of information for Madden NFL 22 Next Gen. And with that information, we got a trailer, which I'm playing in the background for you guys in case you've somehow missed it or you just want to watch it again. Either way, it's there for you. With this information, though, I am putting together what I like to call Madden NFL 22, the good, the bad, and the unknown, where I'm going to tell you what I think is good about the information that was released today, what I think is bad about the information, and then, what is just basically too soon to make a judgment call. It's the unknown. We don't know enough about it. We'll need to wait for more information to come out or even the game to release before we can make another judgment call on that information. And of course, these things are obviously subject to change based on further information and patches and things like that. But anyway, that's what I'm putting together for you guys. Just a little opinionated video on the information we got so far, and I hope you enjoy it. Let's check it out here.
This Denver crowd making it tough on the Kansas City offense, making it hard to hear yourself think. And Mahomes, he's saying the same thing. He can't hear anything. One final try now for Brady. Looking downfield for Godwin. They'll go for it. It's Mahomes. Pressure coming from Chubb. He just gets this away deep. 7 seconds. 6 seconds. He caught it! Are you kidding me?
So I've read several articles on the Madden 22 preview, and of course I pulled up the Operation Sports article here. They're my go-to, as you guys know, and what I'm doing is I just have this article in the background. You guys can read it. I'm not reading it for you verbatim, but I made a list that I'm going to go over based on these articles here, and you can either read in the background and listen to me, or however you want to do it here. But we're going to start off with the good. And the first thing I want to talk about that's good that I've seen from this Madden 22 preview is Real Player Movement 2.0. Now, if you guys paid attention to any of my videos from Madden Next Gen for 21, you guys know that I was a huge fan of the player movement that was very noticeable in making the leap from current gen to next gen. And in my opinion, this can only be better. I had nothing but good things to say about real player movement for Madden 21, and so a lot of details are shared with how they're gonna call this 2.0, but I'm gonna go ahead and call this a good thing that they're refining it and improving it. Number 2 would be the addition of coaching staff. So you now are going to have coordinators and things like that, which I think is definitely good for franchise mode and the immersion. Now, how they're going to work and how they actually affect things is still something that we need more information on. If they're there just because they're there and they really have no impact, that's going to be a bummer, and that would, of course, get moved out of the good side of things. But for now, we'll just be optimistic with EA and say that coaching staff additions and their role in your franchise is a good. The last good thing I'm going to pull out of this early information is halftime adjustments. Now, this is assuming that these halftime adjustments are not similar to what we already do with just the changing how we want our players to tackle or changing how we want them to play the ball in the air. Very honestly stupid things, if you ask me. If these are legitimate coaching adjustments with how you want to call plays offensively and defensively, how you attack them offensively and defensively, if that's what that is, and that's what I'm honestly assuming it is based on other information, then this is definitely a good, and it adds an awesome element to gameplay inside of a franchise mode. So those are the 3 things that I have tabbed for the good of the information we have for Madden 22. Let's go ahead and hop into the bad. The first one is probably going to surprise a lot of people, and I'm going to go ahead and say it's dynamic gameplay. And the reason I'm going to call this a bad is because this is literally a back-of-the-box feature. This isn't something that is going to change anything for anybody as of what you get on the field. It's going to look good. It's going to sound good, but that's about it. they still haven't figured out what we want from dynamic elements in the game. I mean, you look at they talked about their weather elements for Madden 21 Next Gen, and the snow accumulation is absolutely pathetic compared to games made 10 years ago. The snow degradation is completely pathetic and makes no sense. Same with rain and how the jerseys get muddy and how the field degrades and things like that. We still don't have interactive sidelines. It's just going to be a bunch of cutscenes and a bunch of sounds. Stadium sounds are always good, but again, after you've played about 15, 20 games, are you going to notice this stuff? Probably not. And so for me, I feel like until they actually attack the areas that we want them to for the dynamic gameplay, this is just a fluff feature, back-of-the-box feature, and their resources could have been better spent. The next one is they added 35 new scenarios in franchise. Well, the thing is they can't even get the scenario engine right last year. The scenario engine is a complete joke. It's repetitive. It's the same. You pretty much know what you're going to get every single time. You have an offensive lineman who wants to train a younger offensive lineman. You have, whatever, and they get better in something. Breakout scenarios are completely unrealistic as well. And so for them to continue down this line of unrealisticness is just something that, again, I'm gonna go ahead and call it bad. Unless they revamp the whole thing, which it didn't sound like. They just added 35 new ones. I'm sticking with bad. Next is this wasn't verified, but it honestly sounded like it when you talked about your coaching skill tree, is XP-based progression, which completely needs to go. Players don't get better because of how they perform on the field. They get better because of practicing and studying film, and XP progression just needs to go. And soon, I can see the writing on the wall. Your offensive coordinator is going to gain a skill point if you put up 500 yards of offense this week against whoever you're playing. I can see, and if you don't do it, then he doesn't get the point. Like, I can see that being how they implement the skill tree, which is completely unrealistic and stupid. And so for now, XP-based progression is part of the bad. Now we have the unknown, and these are things that they just don't really talk about too much. And number one is scouting. They told us that we're going to get a new scout system, which is fantastic. It's much needed, but we really don't know what that's going to be. And then star-driven AI. This is one where the X factors, they need to learn how to separate them from MUT. All right, you got your arcade version of the game, which is MUT, and you have your franchise and realistic version of the game, supposedly. And you still give players X factors that are unrealistic. Like, suddenly Mahomes is in his zone, he can throw it 20 yards further than normal, or Aaron Rodgers can't get picked off because he's got the gambler, and Lamar Jackson can't fumble the ball. Like, you get these things that are completely unrealistic, and they need to go ahead and readjust that. Now, with this new system, star-driven AI, if they readjust the type of X factors and the way these stars play, then it could be good. But if it's just more of the same, then it's just going to be bad. But for now, it's an unknown. And finally, for the unknown is the weekly strategy session. Now, the reason this is unknown for me is because it's one of those things where right now, game planning in your playbooks are completely broken. You can build your own playbooks and rate them how you want them to rate, and when you go into a game, when you back out, that'll have just given stars to whatever plays it wants. And your coach suggestions are constantly giving you the same plays over and over again on offense and defense, no matter what you do. So the weekly strategy session, although it sounds really good as far as, hey, we maybe want to attack the outside on running plays against this team versus pounding up the middle, or we want to do quick routes, or whatever. If it's going to be more of, well, it doesn't really matter because it's going to call the same plays over and over again anyway, well, then we kind of are not gaining anything. But we don't know that yet. So for now, it's an unknown. An optimistic unknown. So anyway, guys, that is it for my list of Madden 22, the good, the bad, and the unknown for now. We do get some franchise information here in a couple days, and if it's worth it, I'll drop another video. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and as always, stay tuned to the next video. Peace.